And I'm not sure that Ant and Dec will particularly want their brand associated with nastiness.
Lower mic.
Lower mic.
3, 2, 1. Good morning. It's a Wednesday morning. It's quite windy out here in the middle of the Solent. We're up on Spitbank Fort, and what do you think? I mean, have you ever been out to one of these before?
I haven't. I've always. It reminds me of the one out at the Needles. That one is very similar to this. Obviously, similar built timing, coastal defence. But very similar to this one.
They're fascinating places, and they do quite a lot of functions out here, don't they, for firms' parties and things like that. So I would imagine a great night out, if you could get out here with better transport than we have.
I can't imagine any of those party guests, climbing that rusty ladder.
No, not in there, especially the ladies in their miniskirts and high heels and all of that.
Yeah.
But we'll come to that later. We'll ask Michelle how they cope with that. But it's Beadle. He's the man we've come here for. We're not allowed to see him yet. He's actually banged up in a cell. We thought that Granada and LWT were winding us up, didn't we? We thought that when the show comes off the air, out he comes to party, or maybe he goes and stays at the Hilton in Portsmouth or whatever. But we've had a word with the producer, and he really is banged up in that cell, and they've now started taking things away from him, like his radio and I think a photograph of his wife and all his little pleasures that maybe a prisoner would have in a cell. And we think they're trying to break him, don't we?
We do, and we think maybe they're succeeding. There's not long to go, but they think they're getting to him.
How do you spot when they're fakes? And I know Meridian want to get round and they're thinking about the boat and they've only got so much film and the battery life is dying down and we better do the tour for them. But just to tell you that, Doc, how do you spot a fake? Right? Well, to be quite honest, I used to love the fakes because they were so bad. And we used to do Fake Alert, which was just tremendous stuff. But the very simple answer is, and if you want to send in one and you want to try and fool them, this is what you do. Is that if you get a tape and you're not sure, we look at the 5 minutes before and the 5 minutes after. Yeah. Because a lot of the fake ones come in bald. It's just that one bit of footage and it's been set up. It's a very simple litmus test.
Only Beadle could tell you that.
And you know full well that if you do it, you can see it. Or you see a little reflection. You always put the camera there.
They're doing it on Big Brother all the time now.
Oh,
it's the contestants.
I mean, these are to collect the rain. Great. I mean, this will give you an example. Just smell that.
Any idea?
What do you really should rinse your underwear through?
Just, you don't.
He wears that of an evening.
Yes, the other one, No Man's Land, was up for about 6 million.
But he's spent a fortune on it. He's converted it, hasn't he?
Do you know he spent 2 years, right, digging the rubble out? Yeah, guys.
Jeremy Beadle, Spitbank Fort. The little fella and I would now like to take you for a quick whistle-top tour of where I really am. You may think it's got to me. All right, right. This is the kitchen. The great thing about the kitchen, I will demonstrate for you, is that when we put the electric kettle on, which we have to unplug everything else in the place, all the heaters have to be turned off, we can have a kettle, it all starts falling apart, and this all falls in the food, like this. It's like a snowstorm. So you have to make sure that all the food is covered before you make any attempt. There's a great hole in the back there because it's a maze of tunnels around the back. Food arrives, we hear this, and that tells us either food is here or there is a challenge for which we're about to do. There's stacks of booze under here. They've been very, very forthcoming with the drink. My last house guest, Andy, for example, one evening had a jug of Pimm's, followed by 2 pints of Guinness and blackcurrant, followed by 12 Tia Marias and Coke. Anyway, I think they've been desperately keen for me to drink, and I've just said, no, I'm not drinking. I think they're a bit shocked. Most of my friends are shocked, anyway. As you can see, we've got the cameras, which shows 24/7. In other words, they're on 24 hours, 7 days a week. This is a microphone. This is the common room. It's now, it seems on camera, because cameras lift the light, it seems very bright and cheery. But anybody comes in here, the one thing you can't translate down the bottle or on camera is the smell. It is dank, it's horrible. And it's quite warm in here now because I've got a pair of twins, identical twin girls, very attractive boys, as house guests, and one of them's got a really bad throat, so I've had the heater burning. Got 2 gerbils for company. They've just, we made it quite homely, but they've now painted all over it to make it look rather austere. This is the new regime. This is the bathroom. Again, it's been redone. We had terrible floods. It is cold, it's wet. If you look down here, but we've recently had floors put in. This is my bedroom, which isn't, again, it's quite large. I insisted on a double bed because I can't sleep in single beds. I mean, wherever I stay, I always have a double bed because otherwise I end up rolling and falling out. A humidifier that takes out the air. Now remember, I've been here for 6 weeks. I've had heaters going. This will take out. Don't get it out for me. It will take that much water in 24 hours, still, out of the air in here. Around the bottom, you can see a frieze. This was supposedly done by a prisoner, but I'm not quite sure who the prisoner was because it looks too modern to me. This, the other night, quite true, up there is a ventilator shaft. This pan here is to collect the drips. The other night, storms, flooded, my bed got drenched. I had to move my bed in the middle of the night. The floor got drenched, and I had a serious industrial humidifier working for 24 hours just to take out the damp. So it's not bad, really, it isn't that bad. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, and I'm a lovey, I wear mascara, I'm not used to it, but this is the guest bedroom. Now, as you can see, if I come in here, it's a lot narrower, tighter. It's got bunk beds because I've got identical twins who are very, very naughty. I would watch the show on ITV2 because these girls are outrageous. And even though we're not really being given the right opportunity to show you how outrageous they are, because it was a wonderful piece of casting, and we're beginning to lose it a bit because you don't get punters like this all the time, and they're tremendous, and we need to let them play more. But they've been terribly funny. Very damp again. The ventilator shaft at the top there last night, that broke, and water cascaded all down onto the electrics. Not particularly clever. It's damp, but that's it, and that is the end of the tour. It's if you came and lived here, I think you'd be unhappy. You really want to be here. In fact, I've said to the people that own it, you ought to offer special nights, £200 to do a Beadle. Because if you want to try it, I think it'd be worth it because, yeah, well, imagine it for 6 weeks. It's not that pleasant, but on the other hand, if I start thinking like that, yeah, I really would have go mad. I've been very positive, I've been very up, I've had great companions, I've had a lot of fun. And this, well, it's should be Christmas.
And I tell you what, Jeremy Beadle, Doc, he's been locked up for 6 weeks, and he just doesn't want us to go, does he? He must be so desperate for company, he's now going to do the tour for us.
He sent the boat away twice. Jeremy, you do realise we'll be leaving soon.
Oh, no, you mustn't, guys. You see, the secret, the part of the skill, of course, is to extend every 5 minutes into 10. You know, if you've got new blood around, then, hey, come on, we'll share.
Kill some time for you.
It's time, it's all about using time. I have enjoyed myself. I know it sounds stupid, but if you want to stay here for 6 weeks and then come away and say, well, that was horrible, that was well, what a waste. No, I've always tried to find good things.
But are you going to break before the end of the week? Are you going to crack? Because these aren't the greatest to living conditions.
No.
And obviously, you know, it must get you down. How many kids you got?
4.
And how old are the youngest?
14 and 16.
Right, okay, so it's a holiday.
It's a holiday, it's a break, yeah.
Because, you know, toddlers, although you love them all the same, toddlers are so much harder to leave than the bigger ones.
It's true, but we've got a couple of kittens that I left behind, and Shenanigan, my dog, I left behind, but my friend... No, Listen, it's a job. If you do pantomime, you go away, you're away 7-8 weeks at a stretch. But of course, you've got your freedoms. I can pick up the phone, or if I want to just jump in the car, it may take me 9 hours, but I'll drive home. Whereas this, other people in control. I just hope that they play it for laughs. And
so what are you worried about then?
I'm not worried about anything. I mean, I promise you, I can't think of anything that they can throw at me now that I'm not going to handle. I mean, they tried bread and water on me last night. Well,
But why would you go along with that? Why would you say, like, hang on a minute?
No, I tell you why. Because they said, do the challenge or you have bread and water. I said, I'll take the bread and water. I'm not going to, excuse me. If they'd asked me, if they'd actually say, hey,
Yeah,
look.
but see, you're obviously doing all right. You're getting, I would imagine, as a big name on TV and someone who's so used to doing this kind of work, you are going to get, I would imagine, a nice paycheck at the end of this, right? And you've obviously signed some kind of contract, but it's now turned into mind games between you say you and them.
No, well, that's a great pity, and it's true. I mean, yesterday we were up on the roof for 3 hours, and one of the girls has actually got a really, really sore throat, and she's been in bed all week with this. And I started saying, listen, guys, this is no longer a joke. And I mean, I really did say it. And eventually, it took 3 hours, and today she's needed the medicine. Well, you don't.
From what I've seen on the telly, it's been not just you, but it's been you and the contestants. You've been fighting their corner against the producers.
Oh yeah, no. Well, that's all been a negotiation. Actually, that's been one of the funny parts. But I mean, they showed a thing on telly the other day with me and Dan, the ITV2 producer, with me saying you've broken the trust, and that was all negotiation.
That's the bit I saw. He's the bald-headed guy, and
That's
he was
right.
in there, and you were hacked off about some challenge. But to me, you look like, because we kind of work more or less in the same field, you look to me like someone who wasn't going to lose it, but actually you were really pissed off.
I wasn't. I'd ask. You can. I promise you. Ring independently. Ring Andy. I'll give you his home number and ask him. Ask him about. I said to Andy, look, what you're about to see now is fun and games. I'm about to negotiate on your behalf to try and get concessions on the challenge.
But that made it seem like it was a real big deal.
No, but that's because they edited it. I mean, you're not going to win against the editor.
No.
And the editing, to be quite honest, it's made. They tried to make me look grumpy, it to be miserable, and it's not been. And what they've done is they've actually used what little that they have got. When I've just sat there because we're sitting down here for 22 hours.
Sorry, did you want to cut there, Dave?
I said that to me, I was 16. Only one thing, be very, very careful with this tower over here. Dave, you have the throne.
Hey, this is impressive.
What if I put my feet in there?
Yeah, oh yeah, no, go in. That's right.
Has this been put in for you?
Yeah, this is luxury.
I've seen worse.
Are you ready, Dave?
Yeah, rolling.
All right, here we are. It's Big Al on the dock with Meridian Dave. We're at Spitbank Fort, and we've got Jeremy Beadle with us, who just won't let us go. And we're in a specially constructed shower for you now, yeah?
Yeah. This is the throne room. Dave is there, busily trying to avoid sitting on the throne.
It's the
room.
close-coupled low system.
I noticed, but I wasn't going to mention it.
Shop hate me, but the
Yeah.
usual.
What sort of time do you get up in the morning?
This morning I was up about 8:15, had a shower and sort of like slob around.
I just cannot imagine staying here. Can you?
What about rats? Are there
No rats. No.
So
No
yes,
vermin.
it would be.
I've had a couple of bites, but I think they're mosquito bites. I think the wind carries them across. They land in bad weather or something. And I've had a few of those, but